It just kept coming back to the mind, mindfulness, meditation, and figuring out how to hold stress and how to figure it out and how to navigate, hard times.
I think he's been through so much in his life too that the little things are just so irrelevant to him that he just brushes everything off. I've seen people talk about him when he's on the mound saying that he looks so calm and in control, and I think a lot of that is from him doing what he does behind the scenes to try and...
Just be Bowden.
Yeah, just be Bowden. Yeah, that's exactly it.
I always try to be positive and just kind of take me where the wind goes type of thing. And I guess it came from my parents, just how they raised me and just let me be myself. Coffee before my coffee. What are you doing? We're doing an interview. I'm talking about Dada. What do you think Dada does for work? What do you think Dada does? When Dada goes to the field, what am I? What do I do? You're being silly. You want a smoothie too?
No, I don't need a smoothie.
Oh, we're making pancakes. Is that what you want? Coming back to some normalcy, kind of a country town, old small town. How'd that happen? Going after the city, like in the season, I just felt like it was a good little balance to have. Kind of like a slower little pace. How many pancakes you want? You want like 2 or you want like 100?
100.
100. I knew some parts of my heart kind of wanted to come back for, maybe not forever, but I wanted to show the family where I grew up and kind of where my roots started. He's gonna be the chef though.
He's a chef brother?
Yeah, he's always helping. Mash those up.
He'll act wild in public with the kids, and the kids just idolize him for it. He's just grown so much since having kids.
Today's your last day of school, and then you have holiday stuff. You're gonna be off of school for 2 weeks.
2 weeks? And my new school.
Priorities and the perspective on life just completely flipped. I mean, what you think is important, it just isn't. Should we get some over to JoJo? Kind of a fight or flight, and you gotta figure it out and figure out what works. And 79-10. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want that. Then you kind of have to live off of what you've been taught, almost like what my dad has taught me as a son, and kind of like how to father. And she's over in her little island over there. I don't know, I guess I'm grateful of how I was raised, and so I can kind of transfer it into my kids. What's your favorite one?
All of them.
All of them. You can't pick one?
I'm gonna jump down at you.
Oh! Oh. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Stinky feet?
These ones.
Stinky feet number 2.
These are... No, you can't see them.
Will you make me one at school? Let's go.
Love you.
Give him one of these. That's Spider-Man.
This is Mama's car.
Why do you like when Mama's driving more than Dad does? Because you love her? Is Dad a good driver?
No.
Why?
Because they're so silly.
What?
Is that Uncle Harry? Who's that, Sissy?
How do I do it? Just say like, this is Harrison. This is my strength coach. Strength coach Harrison. My little brother. It's funny, we throw at the same field we both threw like when we were like 12, 11, 10, 11. Ever since I was like born, my dad's been a car dealer. So I've always just been around the cars. I always liked going to the auctions with him. I would always hang out in the dealership. High school came around and I got my first truck, a little fixer-upper, and I think I sold it within like 3-4 months. That's how I kind of made like a little gig out of it in high school. But I went through like 13, 14 cars. I've been looking at some older cars, but it's just hard with the kids. And for right now, I just wanted like a Ford Air sedan, something old, something that takes me back, I guess.
I haven't even opened the door to that car. I haven't even seen the inside of it. I think, so it first started with that 2000 Land Cruiser that I told you about. And I got traumatized with that one. So in the passenger air vent, there's a dead cockroach sitting there. And that's probably my #1 fear is cockroaches. And so I kept saying to him, I was like, I don't want to drive in this car until we get that cockroach out of there. And he's like, don't worry, I got it. He smashes it down and just shoves it in the air vents. And I was like, okay, I guess it's done with. When we went for another drive one time and it was hot out there, it was on full blast, and all the pieces of the cockroach just flew up and hit me. So after that, I'm like, you have your cars, you can do whatever you want with it. If it makes you happy, then you do that, but I'll watch from afar.
She actually goes pretty good on the highway though. This is my throwing car. Or if I just am by myself, because the seat belts in the back don't work, so I can't really take the kids. It's funny, like I always grew up liking this area, like this neighborhood we bought in. It's super close to like all this midtown type of, but it's like this little, it's just a baseball park, but it's got a playground. Actually, we used to play all the time. Tournaments all the time down here. Yeah. Brings me back. I like this car. Well, we were drafted the same year. We were in the kitchen, just watching the draft. I think we were cooking or something. We had the laptop on the island, just like going with the draft. And no one really called, like we had a couple of phone calls like, hey, will you take this and whatever, and then we ended up hearing his name. It was pretty funny. Like, holy crap, you just did it. And then maybe like 30, 40 minutes later, I heard mine. It was just like, it was interesting. Called my dad, he was at work. Then you go to the hat store and you get your team. So we came back and we got my dad hats for both the teams. I'll be right here. G-O-O-D-E-Y-E, good eye, good eye, good eye. Hit the ball into the trees.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Oh my God.
Hey, Fisher, look at me. I'm a monkey in a tree. Oh, you're good.
She was super like charismatic, and like she was very zen. I think that's where I got my zen from, and she was super. I would say she was like she wasn't loud in a bad way, but she was loud, and she was like she liked wearing funky clothes, and she liked artsy, I would say. She loved yoga and gardening and getting dirty and just painting. She liked doing all kinds of stuff, and everyone around her loved her and felt like safe around her. I don't know, everyone would say there's something special about Joanna, and I just heard that so many times, how they talk about her now, even, this 10 years later. It's pretty crazy to how she touched so many people, and it's touching, I guess, to even talk about it. It takes me back to like this high school game when I was throwing, and I can see she was up on this hilltop of my high school and in a wheelchair with tubes in her nose, and she was going through chemo, and she was still at the game. That's what I picture every time. And it kind of just grounds me in a way. She's had a hard time with hospital bills and meals and stuff. We always had people bring in meals, fortunately. We were insanely blessed. We were at school or baseball tournaments, people were picking her up from the hospital or taking her to chemo, and she just felt like there was a hole for cancer patients. So her and her friend made this idea of Joanna Francis Living Well. It's a nonprofit for all cancer patients that struggle with paying prescriptions or groceries, any kind of expenses that make it harder on you, like mentally. It's very stressful, and families that are grinding it out that need that extra cushion just to help them breathe a little easier.
His mom has been such a big influence in his life, like who he is today. I think a lot of the stuff he does is to try and honor his mom as much as possible, and even like stories of him as a kid, he was definitely a mama's boy. I mean, him and his mom he was homeschooled for a little bit, and he told me they would just sit at home and watch shows together. Like, I don't know, I think she had an extra soft spot in her heart for him, and I think if she was still here today, they would be inseparable. I think she would be over at her house every day. I think she would be a great grandparent to those babies. I think she would be so proud of him. He honors her in any way he can, that's for sure.
Yeah, you taking pictures?
Her name was Joanna, and we named our daughter JoJo to try and honor her.
We had a couple different names. We thought about doing it for her middle name. I don't know, it just kind of kept sticking when we talked about naming her Joe or JoJo, and Jen thought it was like really important for us to just stick with it and do the first name as JoJo, and it's like another piece of JoJo, of having kind of like my mom around her. Go, go, go. The next day was Christmas, the best Christmas ever.
And the story was, Buddy the Elf managed to save Christmas, and the spirit saved a lot of other people too. That's it, the end.
Let's go.
Now we're ready to walk. For Boo Boo doesn't want to wait. For Boo Boo doesn't sing.
Inside.
It was just too cold out there. Woo.
So after the All-Star break, when I came back up, kind of spread my wings, and I feel like I can kind of be myself in my role. It just felt like comfortable, and I can get back to what I know how to do.
Even like right before he had his hot streak, the term he uses, some days you're the bug and some days you're the windshield. And he's like, well, today I was the bug, you know, but I'm gonna go back out there, and usually he just brushes it off. And then he had that couple months, you know, where it was pretty hard, you know, they moved him to bullpen, and he still was just like, he would do good, and then he'd have some like bad games. But I mean, I remember after like the San Francisco Giants game, he had texted me and he was like, I don't know what's wrong with me, like I'm an embarrassment, and I've never seen him talk about himself like that. And then he goes and he has this like hot streak, and it's crazy.
You can't say enough about what he has done his last 6 or 7 times.
And Dave Steve threw his no-hitter against the Cleveland Indians back in 1990. That's still the only no-hitter in franchise history, and Bowden Francis has knocked on the door twice.
When I get the ball back from the third baseman, I usually kiss my wrist, my right wrist. It's the date she passed. And I can almost like feel her like grab my shoulders or something. I get chills when I think about it. I don't know. It's something that I've done ever since.
So now 4 of Francis's last 6 starts, he's allowed only 1 hit.
He's shutting down major league teams to put together a stretch like this any time in your career, let alone within your first 11 starts.
It is remarkable what he has been doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of pitchers that have never had that opportunity once in their career, let alone twice in a span of 4 starts.
And once again, Bowden, don't hang your head. What you are doing is remarkable right now. Vladdy's giving him a standing ovation. The fans are as well. Boy, has he been a treat to watch these last several times out.
Can you put into words, or can you imagine what family means to Bowden?
I think family is everything to Bowden. I think what he does, baseball and everything, he does it for his family. I think if baseball was affecting his family in any way, if it was bringing them down, I think he would pick family over everything.
Gone by day and gone by night. It's not an easy road that leads you to the light. It's windy lane, but someday it'll straighten out. And it's worth it on the other side when he brings that city down. You only get one shot, everything to lose. Lord, take me now, I'm broken and bruised. Can you save my soul, 'cause I need you. I need you.
I never want to feel like I'm distant. It sucks when he will say like, man, Dad is always gone, or where is Dad always going? It's hard to hear those, but you know, I think it's something that, it's just one of those temporary things where I have to explain to him, like, hopefully when they're older I can hang out with them all the time type of thing, and retire with them and spend all the time with them. So it melts and it has a little bit of crunch. And that's it right there. Family to me means just like connection and being together and time, I think, is the one thing we'll never get back. And I just think if we could just take advantage of the time together.
Look at it go! Bye! Wow! Make a wish, Boogie!
I wish for cookies and I wish for big muscles.